Shinra Kusakabe went from being framed for the death of his own family to becoming the god of an entire universe built by his own hands. The question is, how does this kid that can just create fire from his feet end up being able to reshape reality in his own image? Well, let's find out. He possesses what is called an Adolla Burst. Now this isn't just any fire, this is the fire, the purest, original flame used by the sun god to create the planet itself. This thing literally can power the whole ass empire, and this is only the beginning. Using his god tier speed, Shinra starts wall kicking at max speeds, zipping around so fast that Rekka can't even react. Now Shinra is a lot more intelligent than you'd think, especially for a shonen main protagonist, right? That's the standard we're talking about here. Because he knew that in raw power, he was outmatched, but used his environment to his advantage to make the best use of his agility and speed. And so Shinra builds up a one-shot nuke of a kick and finishes the job. Shinra won this battle despite actually using a significant amount of flames just to find Rekka and Tamaki, meaning that Shinra is already on the level of most lieutenants. Licht declares that the 8th's main goal now is to power Shinra up to god tier level if they want to stand any chance of defeating the evangelists and saving Sho. So both Arthur and Shinra get sent to Benimaru's hell camp. The undisputed strongest fighter in the world tells Shinra that he needs to open his third eye and sense everything, as that is why Giovanni bodied him, because Shinra was blind to his surroundings. And so they start sparring, with Benny telling Arthur and Shinra to come at him with killing intent, but he dodges everything like he's in creative mode. He tells them that something is missing from their attacks. Yes, the force is there, but it's still missing that special ingredient, that something invincible, which is when Licht has an idea. He needs to concentrate them into a singular devastating burst to essentially squeeze the flame. Benimaru, being the walking cheat code that he is, nails it instantly as a demonstration, but Shinra, not so much. He actually overthinks things too much, unlike Arthur for example, so he ends up failing. That is, until he's introduced to hand signs. By copying Benimaru from a distance, trying to use a specific hand formation, Shinra accidentally unlocks corner for the first time and explodes immediately, something which will be crucial for later on. But for now, through ancient techniques, Shinra learns how to channel his flames properly. He nails the tiger sign, concentrating all of his energy into one finite point, and then boom, he teleports into the sky. Even Benimaru is surprised by this, and when the strongest Fire Force character is impressed and demands that you fight him using it, you know you just leveled the fuck up.
I'm built different.
Cut to later on, and Shinra is so stupidly fast that Benimaru is struggling to react. The man who one-shots Infernals for breakfast. But Shinra, he's catching up. Displaying that he is leveling up more and more, which we will see in the next fight, because Shinra reconnects to Adolla, getting bombarded with visions which eventually lead him to his brother Sho, but he is brainwashed to oblivion. He calls their mum a nobody and disrespects Shinra straight to his face, which causes him to jump right in and say,
What you did was not nice! It's not nice to do that!
Now at first, Sho is shocked by Shinra's speed, but it doesn't matter, as he stops time. This dude is playing a whole different game. Turns out he's bending the laws of physics to literally freeze time around him. That's how he's so fast. Sho can just somehow cool the universe around him to the point where time stands still, essentially making everything else stand still. Now, does it make any sense?
No.
Is it complete and utter peak?
Yeah.
And so with With this, Shinra is cooked until he miraculously lands a hit on Sho. Through sheer brotherly love, he forces an Adolla link between the two, gaining the Evangelist's grace through him. Now, what is grace? Well, it's essentially a powerful boost that makes Shinra's pyrokinesis way stronger, like break the laws of physics stronger, thus allowing him to do things that normal fire powers can't, such as stopping time. This is why it's only accessible to those with an Adolla Burst via either the Evangelist or someone like the Woman in Black. Alternatively though, you can get grace by linking with somebody who already has it. That's how Shinra got it, as he connected with his little brother who was already linked to the Evangelist. There is a downside though. Grace only lasts as long as you're connected to the being giving it to you, and they can take it away at any time. And if they're not strong enough to keep the connection going, your powers might only last for a second. That being said, when Shinra uses it here, he becomes cracked, as using the Evangelist's grace, he vanishes. Not even Sho, with his time-stopping powers, can see him, because it turns out Shinra went faster than light to the point that his body literally breaks apart into tiny subatomic particles. This then lets him travel a few seconds back in time to just before Shinra's body fell apart. Yep, it's only chapter 82 and bro is already rewinding time at a subatomic level. By the end of this insane fight, Sho sees the truth, breaks free from the Evangelist's brainwashing, only for Haumea to pull a nah, that's a little bit too much plot progression for my liking, and snatch him away whilst his sword somehow ends up in Shinra's chest. Now Shinra has to somehow think of a way to stop all despair and the fear of death in the world. When Haumea shows Shinra that even Sister Iris chose death, he attempts to attack, but this only proves her point. Only death can bring salvation. But when they try to attack with a different plan, both Sho and Shinra's attacks do nothing, because Haumea now possesses the powers of all the pillars, including Inca's, to sense danger. Fate itself has decided that she cannot be touched. They are hopeless. Even if they stop Haumea, if Shinra dies, it doesn't matter. The world will still fall into despair. Yet he can't help but be furious, and in the moment that he's distracted, Haumea puts a hole straight through his chest. If not for Captain Kayako's treatment earlier in the series, Shinra would be dead. However, this just inspires him to never give up, as he influences fate for the first time, moving Haumea's hair. You guys all know about the butterfly effect, right? Well, by causing just the tiniest change in fate, it could ripple throughout everything, which is why the Evangelist, or God, fears the change Shinra can bring. This all crumbles though when Obi dies to his own doppelganger, causing Shinra to lose his mind, resulting in the planet being engulfed in flames. Yep, he just accidentally killed everybody. If not for Arthur, Haumea would have been proven right there. Plus, we learn that Arthur is actually the fourth pillar's guardian. Yeah, the guy who bullied him on a daily basis. Nonetheless, Shinra decides that he doesn't want the world to end like this, and so it won't. Simple as that. Because his mother appears, who is actually the doppelganger of the Evangelist.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, this shit goes crazy. But we aren't going to delve into that rabbit hole just yet, as Shinra tells her about his whole life and how he never despaired and how he wants his mother to meet all the people that he loves. Now, that's sweet and all, but Shinra still can't do anything to Haumea. Inca's prediction, the sister's divine blessing, there is no way to stop such a broken ass god. But that's when Shinra asks his family to join hands, telling them that they're both miracles to him, and so what's one more? His mother is the personification of hope, just as Haumea became one with the despair, and so now Shinra needs to become one with hope. Thus, with the souls of an angel, a hero, and the personification of hope, their souls unite as one. Soul resonance. That is right, Soul Eater Nation, stand up, because the most powerful being in all of fiction has just been born. Okay, you guys might think that I'm just yapping, but I'm dead serious. Shinra Bansho Man is genuinely broken and no character could ever stop him. Why? Well, because no attack does anything to Shinra. Even when Haumea combines with despair itself, Shinra legit just turns her flames to flowers and leaves. He begins to easily repel the black flames, creating whales from his imagination. So if you don't understand yet, Shinra Bansho Man can do anything that he imagines. Create something out of thin air? Easy. Any attack ever coming towards him? Who actually gives a shit? Just imagine that it doesn't even work. Bro even catches a divine light that can destroy anything it touches and then turns it into a new atmosphere to extinguish the black flames that cover the planet. Shinra begins to completely recreate the world with his bare hands. Guys, I can't even power scale this. How do you power scale someone that can just do anything? Reality is simply Shinra's bitch at this point and has to do what he says. Even the evangelist calls Shinra a god as he confronts all the pain and despair that Haumea has endured. And what does he do with all of that trauma and despair? He just kicks it away. Yeah, he kicks it away, using it to recreate civilization. But how? Just like that? Well, you see, Shinra stopped and rewound time countless times because he isn't some genius that understood anything and everything ever, and so Shinra had to be doing this for eons. He even turns Haumea's tears into souls, completely resurrecting everyone who died in his own vision. But this doesn't change what Haumea said. How does this stop the cycle of despair? Well, Shinra said, I'm gonna do my own thing. He lessened the value of life. Remember, life became worth too much, and so people feared it more than ever. Thus, Shinra just turned death into something closer and more intimate. For the final convincing, he brings back Sharon to persuade Haumea to finally join the side of hope and stop despairing. But all of that despair had to go somewhere, and so Shinra just annihilates it. No big deal, right? I mean, he even creates a god to rule death itself, making it visible for everyone, and I'm sure many of you guys recognize it. Now, it takes all the pyrokinesis from the world, meaning that human combustion is finally gone forever. And to make things even better, Shinra got a harem in the process.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Nonetheless, he used Vulcan and Licht's smart to recreate the world in his own image. Even a new power system was built, one allowing those with strong souls like Captain Obi to rip the planet in half with one hand, and somehow even without pyrokinesis, Benimaru is still the strongest. I guess some things never change. But all in all, at the end of the series, Shinra can manipulate and reshape reality itself in his own image, change the entire universe, can always move at beyond light speed, bring anyone back to life, create gods, anything he wants ever to be real will be. But do you know what he wants above all? It's for you to click this video on your screen right now.